Alright guys, so right back into it. We're gonna assemble this thing. The first thing we need to do is this base has got a slot in it for that set of feet to sit into. We got it right here. There's a foot, the left foot, and then the peg. That'll slip in just like that. This is the upside down part, so we gotta poke the hole in the base so we can slip the peg in there. So I'm just going to poke the knife through the front of the base, just like so. Have it like that. And then just slice a bit out. I'm actually putting the knife through the bottom and then putting it back through the top, so that if I push, if I'm cutting, I'm not pushing the plastic outwards, I'm pushing it inwards. So as I cut, it's not gonna fray out, and you won't have this bit of plastic that's gonna be exposed and kind of, just kind of. Oh damn, this is pretty tough. You don't want it to be icky looking, is what I'm trying to say. And I know icky looking is not a professional term, but as I'm cutting this, I'm not too particularly careful about my grammar. You just don't want the base having its junk all facing out the wrong way. I mean, that's the best way I can put it, to be honest. And this is not a very tough base. I'm using a razor blade now, and it's not as effective. Huh. Where's my other razor? If I had my other razor knife, this would be infinitely easier. And there it is. Yeah, the other knife. This is a sharper knife, and it is, in fact, much easier. Cool. Good, good, good. So I'm doing this slightly off camera because I need to get a good angle. But I am just, doing that hole, the peg, for the peg to sit in. The dog hasn't barked, which I'm particularly enthused about because usually she barks her head off, which is annoying, especially when I'm trying to play League of Legends. Okay. Always cut away from yourself too. If you're listening to me struggle with this, do know that I'm being safe about it and cutting away from myself, or cutting towards, like I have the towel protecting my legs, and then I have obviously my thick shorts on. So I mean, just be careful about this and be smart about what you're doing. You always want to try and cut away from yourself, because you can cut yourself really easy with a lot of the tools in this hobby. I know I have. Everybody probably has. Anybody who's part of this hobby probably has. And it can get pretty nasty, if you're not careful. Okay, so now that we got that all cut out, I'm just gonna tear it off. Now we got that nice giant piece of ugly plastic. And I'm going to go just shave around some areas that I didn't get so well. And just trim real liberally. This is black plastic, and black plastic is easy to fix. Metal, as you can imagine, not so much. Not like I can just, conjure up some metal to plug these plastic, or these areas or whatever. These plastic bits I can fill in with filler. I got some plastic cement, all kinds of ways to fill this up if I mess it up. Okay, so now that that's out, grab ourselves a peg, slip it in there. If he fits in there, great. And he's not fitting in there, great. Oh, there he goes. Are we going in there? Did we decide to go in there, or what are we doing here? Oh, okay. I gotta get another piece. Okay. Did not shave entirely perfect. No, I think I did. And I'm just gonna sit this bitch in there. There we go. And what's good about this too is you can move it around. It's pretty solid in there by itself, but you can slide it around and stuff to get the right angle. And this, like I said, is sort of a running, so he's gonna look like that. He's gonna be kind of at a sprint pace. He's not just standing up like a lot of the Khador or a lot of the Signar stuff. He's actually pretty aggressive looking, and that's why I like Khador. Everything is pretty aggressive about them. So just gonna go ahead and sit that at the right position. I'm kind of moving it back and forth, judging the middle of the model as best I can with the pose to how I want to situate it, and that's about right there. So we're going to go ahead and pop some glue into that. Got some good solid resin glue. This is actually resin glue. It works really well for metal though, I have found. So I just use it for everything, to be honest. I've used it for all the models I've ever done in this series and on my channel. And it's really good stuff. I don't know if it's got a generic brand that you can go and pick it up from, but I got it at the local hobby shop. It's specifically made for resin models. It does really well with metal though. I mean, like I said, done it with everything so far, and it actually is really good. I've never had any problems with it. It's got a real quick dry time too for really strong glue. So I'm pretty pleased with it. Poking a hole in it though, because like all glues, I have bad luck with them. Like they'll dry out on me. I don't know why. I don't know how, but they do. So this may take me a moment. You hear me scraping stuff off. It's like I got some dried glue. Gotta get out. If I were a good video host, I would have done this beforehand. But hey, fuck you. That's wet. Troll glue. Oh. There we go. Take my trusty safety pin, because you always need one of those. Plug me a hole. Now we got glue coming out. So I'm just gonna drop some glue, real light, and then just spread it around the base. Get it on the top. It's kind of not angled correctly on this foot, so I'm just gonna push it in a little bit, and then drop a bit on there as well. Kind of move it around, and there we go. Now I'll put some on the tip of this ankle, and then on the base where the other foot is going to land, and then we'll set that in there as well. The foot actually has a very faint peg, this other foot, that fits into the slot. It's got a very small hole that sits, that'll sit in, so it's actually kind of nice. I didn't even notice that until I was just putting it in. Right, and now we're going to do the torso. We have those really cool shoulder pads. Now there's two different ones, so I'm going to look at the box really quick. I'll set the box up here as a reference. We have torso, front of torso. We have a shoulder pad that has a open arc and a closed arc. Open arc goes on the outside, so this here would be the right one, or if I were facing this way, it would be the left one. So do make sure that you put the right pieces in the right places. I've never had any problems with privateer press stuff because it's pretty self-explanatory. Most of the stuff only fits one way, and that's really helpful. That is super helpful. So I'm going to set that in there. Put a little bit more glue in there because this is a bigger piece. Okay. So now we got our glue on there. Stick our pad on there. Hold it for just a minute, just a second for it to cure. I think cure is the word where it kind of sets in. There we go. And we'll stick the other one, wherever the other one got off to. There it is. This is such a cool model. I'm looking at this as it comes together and it's just like, oh man, it's already pretty sick. I might end up needing more glue eventually though here. Put a good blab on there. And then we'll take the outside facing, of course. Oh no, the box fell. Stick that on there. Make sure it's straight. It is in fact straight. Move the box because I don't need a reference anymore, and I definitely don't need that in my face. God damn it! And that just fell off because I touched it. Very unprofessional. Okay. So now we're sitting there quite nicely. This is a nice big model too, so it's easy to move the parts around. And we'll need to set this down for a moment. So I'm just going to set it slightly off camera. Let's have a look at this. What else we got? Engine block, arms, axe. Okay, axe arm needs to go on last because I need to pose that correctly. Engine block can go next. So grab this whole bit here. Dry fit it. Yeah, those, I mean, these smokestacks, they do protrude kind of a bit. I'm looking at it more and more, and I'm like, eh. But it's one of those things you're going to have to learn to live with. Every model is going to have something wrong with it that you don't like, you know, something that you don't like. But that's okay. If this thing was perfect, then I wouldn't like it so much. I mean, come on, the thing blows up. But it's just like, that's exactly how I feel about it. If it was perfect, I wouldn't like it very much. So the engine block is kind of a heavier piece. It's going to sit pretty snug. And there, so you can see the crack there. That's the sort of puzzle piece effect that it's got. So you're going to set it pretty easily. everything fits together quite strongly. And this is going to need to dry though on its own. I mean, I think I could get away with it. Let's have a see. Let's have a see how strong this is. Yeah, this is pretty strong already, so I might get away with it. I'm going to give it a shot. So I'm going to try and glue this to its legs right now. Try and get the torso to its legs. I'm going to overflow that motherfucker with glue because I got a good amount of glue left still. Probably got enough for this fig, and then I got to get another bottle. So overflow that shit. Easy. 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 This could go horrible. It's going horrible. It is in fact going horrible. There we go. That's kind of got a screw effect. That's kind of cool. That's going to lock in there like nobody's business. Okay. So, holding it all together now. It's on its peg. Making sure it's facing the right way. Letting it go slowly. Hoping it does not fall apart. Ah, there it went. It fell apart. Damn it. Okay, well, it's certainly on its peg to sit on the torso, or to sit on the legs, so I'm not worried about that. Just gonna have to dab this bullshit again. Have another go at it. Mistakes are made. Mistakes are made. You know, normally you would take time to wait for glue to dry, and you know, you would take time for all this stuff to do its own thing. You would do this over like a couple of hours, people would do, and I'm just like, ah, fuck that shit, I want it done now. I want it done now, and I want it done soon, so I can get to painting it. This painting is my big thing. And since that's sitting at an angle, I can go ahead and just leave it, if I were to leave it sitting down. And so, I would actually like to get a rubber band. Let me see if I have one. Get a rubber band and tie this down. So I think I'll actually go ahead and do that. This will be a two-part assembly. So I'll break the vid here because that does need to dry. That engine block's gonna need to sit because that's probably the biggest piece I've ever had to glue together. If I could show you the rubber band technique, that would be immensely helpful, I'm sure, for some people. I'm just like, I can't find a rubber band anywhere. Well, poo. Anywho, I'm just gonna take a rubber band and wrap it around the engine block and the torso so that it pulls the engine and the torso together. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching, guys. This has been a disastrous put together assembly, whatever you want to call it, put together. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Cheers.